In the physical world, when a bank robber steals $250 million, they leave a trail. Smashed glass, empty vaults, getaway cars, and blood. The police have a crime scene. But in the digital age, the perfect heist doesn't require a gun, a mask, or a getaway driver. It only requires a password and a perfectly timed grave. Welcome to the ledger. Imagine for a second logging into your bank account. You see your entire life savings sitting right there on the screen. The numbers are glowing green. The balance is intact. Your future is secure. But when you click the withdraw button, nothing happens. The screen freezes. The money doesn't move. Now imagine finding out that this bank is actually run by a 30-year-old guy with a laptop, and he just suddenly dropped dead on his honeymoon in India. He was the only human being on Earth with the password to the vault. And your money? It's locked inside a cold, dark, digital tomb forever. Or, so the story goes. This is the bizarre, terrifying, and deeply infuriating saga of Gerald Cotten and QuadrigaCX. It was Canada's largest cryptocurrency exchange, a platform blindly trusted by over 115,000 investors. These people didn't just lose their money to a sudden market crash. They lost it to a ghost. To truly understand this heist, you have to look at the architect. Gerald Cotten didn't look like a criminal mastermind or a ruthless Wall Street wolf. He looked like a nerd. He was always smiling, painfully awkward, flying drones in his spare time, and talking endlessly about how Bitcoin was going to democratize global finance. He founded QuadrigaCX in 2013, right as the crypto gold rush was starting to infect the world. It was the perfect time and the perfect place. People poured their life savings, their retirement funds, and their children's college tuitions into his platform. But Jerry wasn't running a sophisticated, secure financial institution. He was running a one-man show from his encrypted MacBook, completely unchecked, completely unregulated, and completely out of his mind. As the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed to nearly $20,000 in 2017, QuadrigaCX was supposedly handling billions of dollars in trades. But behind the closed doors of Jerry's luxury home, the foundation of the company was entirely rotten. Jerry was secretly mixing customer funds with his own personal bank accounts. He was setting up fake, ghost accounts on his own exchange under names like Artiz, printing fake digital money out of thin air, and using those worthless digital dollars to gamble with his customers' real, hard-earned assets. When the devastating crypto crash hit in 2018, the illusion shattered into a million pieces. Customers panicked. They wanted to cash out, but the money was already gone. Jerry had gambled it all away on bad trades and a lavish lifestyle. Quadriga was completely insolvent. It wasn't an exchange anymore. It was a classic, desperate Ponzi scheme running on a blockchain. The walls were closing in fast. Legal threats from furious millionaires were piling up on his desk. Customers were screaming on Reddit. Jerry needed an exit strategy, a way out that didn't end with him spending the rest of his life in a federal prison cell. Enter November 2018. Gerald Cotten, a completely healthy 30-year-old man, suddenly decides to sit down and write a highly detailed, legally binding will. He leaves his entire $12 million personal estate, his multiple real estate properties, his luxury Lexus, and his private airplane to his brand new wife, Jennifer. He even explicitly leaves $100,000 to care for his 2 pet Chihuahua dogs. But he conveniently and mysteriously leaves out one tiny, crucial detail: the passwords to the encrypted cold wallets containing $250 million of his customers' funds. 12 days after signing this will, Jerry and his wife fly to Jaipur, India, for their honeymoon and supposedly to build an orphanage. 9 days into that trip, Jerry is rushed to a private hospital complaining of severe stomach pains. The local doctors say it's a complication from Crohn's disease, a chronic inflammatory illness, but one that is almost never fatal in young, healthy men with access to world-class healthcare. Yet, within 24 hours of checking in, Gerald Cotten allegedly suffers 3 consecutive heart attacks and dies. There's no autopsy. A rushed death certificate is issued by the local police, with his name bizarrely misspelled. His body is swiftly embalmed, flown back to Canada, and buried in a closed casket ceremony. The CEO is dead, and the master passwords, the only keys to $250 million, died with him. But here is where this story shifts from a tragic accident to a dark, psychological thriller. Jerry's wife didn't announce his death immediately to the public or the company. She waited an entire month. For 30 agonizing days, QuadrigaCX's automated systems continued to accept fresh, real money deposits from unsuspecting customers. Millions of dollars flowing directly into a dead man's bank. When the death was finally announced to the world, the crypto community exploded in rage. How could a massive financial institution have absolutely zero fail-safes? No backup keys? No dead man switch? As panic and conspiracy theories set in, elite forensic accountants and federal investigators were brought in to crack the cold wallets. They needed to open the digital vaults where Jerry supposedly kept the $250 million safe. The investigators worked tirelessly for weeks. They finally bypassed the encryption. They opened the legendary cold wallets. They were empty. The money hadn't been lost when Jerry died in India. It had been systematically and deliberately drained months before he ever boarded that plane. The entire narrative of the lost password, taking the money to the grave, was a calculated, brilliant smokescreen. This terrifying revelation ignited one of the wildest, most obsessive manhunts in the history of the internet. The victims simply didn't believe Gerald Cotten was dead. And honestly, can you blame them? Look at the evidence. The incredibly convenient timing of the will. The destination, a country notorious for the ease of purchasing fake death certificates. The completely closed casket, and the empty digital wallets. It was the absolute perfect recipe for a staged exit. Rumors flooded the dark web and every corner of social media. Independent blockchain sleuths speculated that Jerry had undergone extreme plastic surgery, that he had transferred the stolen crypto into untraceable privacy coins like Monero, that he was sitting on a white sand beach in a non-extradition country, drinking a cocktail and laughing at the 115,000 people whose lives he had completely ruined. The victims formed digital armies on Reddit. They tracked blockchain movements, they hired private investigators, and eventually, their lawyers officially demanded that the Canadian government exhume Gerald Cotten's body. They wanted DNA proof that it was actually him rotting in that grave and not just a pile of sand or a stranger. To this day, the Canadian authorities have refused to dig up the grave. The body remains buried in the dark. The RCMP continues to investigate the missing funds. And the $250 million? It remains missing, floating somewhere in the digital ether. Did Gerald Cotten die a tragic, sudden death, taking his catastrophic failures to his grave? Or did he pull off the greatest, most ruthless vanishing act of the 21st century? In a world built entirely on trustless technology and cryptographic proof, the ultimate failure was trusting the smiling man behind the screen. The vault is empty. The ghost is gone. The ledger remains open.